So we have gained the mages. Excellent. They should be able to seal the breach. You are certain you experienced time travel? Could it have been an illusion? A trick of the Fade?
You love the Fade. No. What would be the point? It could be. Well, it could then. It could theoretically be a spirit showing us something, kind of seeking that contact. But I don't know. Dorian is certain. Ooh. What if? Ooh. What if? What if we never left the Fade? Ugh. Dun dun dun. Dorian is certain.
Dorian was sure, impossible as it seems.
What an amazing gift. It is vital the Inquisition succeed to avoid the future you witness.
There wasn't any other option. It's like no, or what would be the point? What, that was the least negative one. I saw you there. No, I didn't. Don't lie, Alec. But it was terrifying to see what happened.
So many were dead. More had been corrupted. Knowing what will happen if we fail.
I suggest we not fail. Speaking of which, you should ready yourself.
For
This Elder One. You have now interfered with his plans twice. Once at the Temple of Sacred Ashes, and now again at Redcliffe. A being who aspires to godhood is unlikely to ignore such an affront.
Can I just send you at him? Because you hate me now. Oh well. I don't play Alec to make friends. I mean, Alec, of course, wants to make friends. But, well, he wouldn't mind making friends. But, yeah, just everything I do is annoying Solus at the moment. Which is fair enough, because I have other mages. I don't need you now. I'm sometimes really, really childish and stupid. Speaking of other mages, let's speak to Dorian.
Put a leash on the rebel mages, I see. Interesting how they seem to like the idea. As if it's a relief to be penned in again.
It had to be done. Life as a rebel is hard. You disagree? I wonder. It had to be done. Do I ask him for his opinion? Because I'm going to ignore it, whatever he says. It had to be done. You disagree? It's 1 or 3. Right, so you disagree is asking him for his opinion. He clearly does. It had to be done. Did it have to be done that way? Probably not in reality, but we'll ask him what he thinks, though. I think it's probably an idea.
Take it you don't agree.
Not my place to disagree, is it? It just seems like you're repeating history. It all depends on what you do with these mages later. No guarantee you'll throw them back into circles again, I suppose. I mean, unless you're as thick as you seem. Which would be sad, really.
You see, I'd like to say the circle, in principle, there's nothing wrong with the circles. In principle. It's not they weren't particularly well run, is the problem. Tell me about the Imperium.
I'd like to ask you about Tevinter.
Ah, yes. Everyone outside the Imperium always seems quite fascinated by it. Probably why they come up with so many ridiculous tales. Flying cows over Minrathous. That's madness. All right, that one's actually true, but the cows didn't have wings. I digress. Anything in particular you wanted to know?
The cow jumped over Moonrathis. I don't think silly. The mages truly rule there.
It seems strange that an entire empire would be ruled by mages.
I find it strange that your mages don't rule anything at all. Actually, the fiction in the Imperium is that mages don't rule. The Magisterium rules. That magisters are all mages is considered a convenient technicality.
But mages do rule.
If it's a fiction, that means mages do rule then.
Yes and no. Let me put it this way. Mages do rule, but not all mages are equal. If you're not from the right family, chances are you don't rule anything. Maybe you're even a slave. The idea that anyone could be a mage, however, keeps the masses placated.
Is that true?
Can anyone be a mage?
Technically, the potential runs mostly in bloodlines, but it's been known to happen. More importantly, commoners believe it can. Tevinter legend is chock full of mage heroes from humble origins. So they hold out hope. Someday my son or my son's son will be a mage. Someday. Poor sods don't realize that means he'll be a quaestor at the arse end of the 100 Pillars, at best.
I'm guessing that's bad.
Being a quaestor isn't a good thing.
I imagine the average non-mage likes to think so. Counting numbers and shuffling papers all day is better than many occupations after all. If you're a second-class citizen among a pack of piranha, however, your outlook changes.
Ugh. Administration. From. What's the magisterium?
What is the magisterium exactly?
The upper house of the Imperial Senate, and the only part worth having a seat on. Those seats are split among the circles of Magi, the Chantry, and the major families. All majors now. It's odd that outside the Imperium, you use Magister like it applies to every Tevinter mage.
What are you?
If you're not a magister, then what are you called? No special title?
I'm an Altus, which is almost as good as a Magister, depending on who you ask.
And an altus is?
I've never heard of an altus.
Upper class. Those families who trace descent from the Dreamers, the first prophets of the old gods. If you're a mage and you're not Altus, then you're later. Lower class. If you're not a mage at all, you're Soparati. That's everyone else. We do love our fancy words.
I look down on him because I am upper class. What about the Archon?
I thought the Archon ruled over the Imperium.
Well, yes. Technically, he can overrule laws passed by the Magisterium, but that never happens. Even so, he gets to appoint new Magisters, which means all the families vie madly for his favor. Thus, the Archon gets invited to all the parties. The truest path to Tevinter influence, let me tell you.
So not that different from Orlais then.
Let me ask you something else.
Of course.
And I think we will. I'm wary of this one. What about... no, I think we'll leave it for the moment.
That's all I wanted to know.
Fair enough.
Well, have you seen Alexius? That's probably an interesting one.
Have you gone to see Alexius yet? He's in the cells.
Not yet, no. I saw him before they locked him up. He looked despondent, broken. Not the man I remember, nor the one I want to. I suppose the Inquisition will judge him eventually. I wonder if there's any chance they'll show him mercy. He hardly deserves it, but for Felix's sake. I can't help hoping there's something left of the man I once knew.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe if you understand that. But I don't think so. It's the problem is they seem to have focused on the idea that the idea of imprisonment rather than conscription, which would be slightly different. One would suspect. One would hope.
I hear the mages will now answer to the Inquisition. And when you no longer need them, will they be locked up and forgotten again? Most will treat their dogs with more kindness.
The mages will not be harmed. That's something we're going to fight. We want.
I'll make sure they're protected.
That's what the Chantry used to say. It's a mercy. They are protected. Oh, how well they were protected.
I watched you die for me. Not sure how that's related, but I'll say it.
In Redcliffe, you sacrificed yourself so that I could return here.
Of course I did. One small life in exchange for a second chance at history. I always loved a bargain.
It was still noble.
It was still a sacrifice, and still noble.
And I would do it again.
Any updates?
Anything I should know?
Altegan has returned to Redcliffe Castle and resumed his duties as Lord. The people are returning, slowly but surely. They seem grateful to the Inquisition for the return of their village.
Right, we may head over there then, actually.
Anything I should know?
I have nothing to report at the moment.
I think, okay.
I'll leave you to your work.
Go and talk with old Tegan. There's not many other people to talk to. I wonder... I assume Vivienne's going to be rather happy with our decision, I'd suspect.
For the Maker's Jump.
Oh, cut.
Sophia and her malcontents are finally under proper authority.
Quickly
That's
approves.
an excellent beginning, my dear. We will have to discuss how to administrate this new asset. Cullen doesn't have enough Templars to handle incidents. Some of the rank and file need to be trained.
Frame rate. Keep them hidden. Keep what? I don't know what that means. Keep what hidden? The training? We can control the mages. I don't think... Oh, I see. It's... We can control the mages without doing anything, without doing any of this Templar stuff. I don't know. Good idea. Keep them hidden. No. I don't think we need more people trained.
We can handle the mages. There's no need for Templars.
Have any of these men faced an abomination before, my dear? Have you? The veil is broken, and the raw power of the Fade rushes out like floodwaters through a shattered levee. In ordinary places where the veil is weak, magic is much more likely to attract demons. Do you imagine the rebels are safer from demons now that horrors pour out of the Fade unsummoned? There has never been a greater threat to mages than the breach. Until it is closed, no one is safe.
So, yes. Why did I say that? I should probably actually kind of think through my reasoning a bit more rather than just clicking the thing that seems right. The issue with the rebellion is that the Templars and the mages clashed rather severely at Kirkle, and then from there, various churches were blown up. I'm blaming Anders for all of them. And, no, I think it was just the one in Kirkle. And then that spurred this thing on. So, imprisoning, that's basically what we have done. We're imprisoning and conscripting the mages, and then going, oh, we're going to recruit loads of Templars, new Templars. And we're not going to have... We'd have to put an awful lot of oversight over it, which wasn't one of the options, right? You don't seem to trust the mages. I'm not as confident in the demons. Do you pose a risk, then? And again, I think that might be a bit more bravado. Yeah, we'll have a bit of bravado, I think. I'm not as confident in...
I'm glad that one of us has confidence in the Templars.
Oh, in the Templars.
It's not a matter of confidence. Reality does not change based on feelings. Magic is dangerous, just as fire is dangerous. Anyone who forgets this truth gets burned.
I thought she was talking about the demons. Templars aren't the solution. That's Chantry rhetoric. Tavinta doesn't think so. Yes, I'm sure Alec does not care. I agree with you. No, Templars... But Templars aren't the solution. Not the way they were. That's the thing, is it's the way they were.
You're right, but Templars are a poor solution.
They are men, and all men are flawed. That some fail does not mean that none should try. The fact remains that there is no cure for an abomination except death. Someone must strike the killing blow. Who shall lower the blade if not a Templar? Tell me something. You said once that you wanted to change things. What future would you build for mages?
Mages should be free. We need the circle back. That's kind of what I'm fighting for. We need mages in the Chantry. So what would be the difference? Oh. Right, mages should be free. No, or at least I suspect that's kind of like Liliana's position, where we shouldn't have the circle. I think that's kind of an extension of that, so I think it's got to be the circle.
The circle has to be restored if you want to keep the peace.
That's comforting to hear, but you'll find opposition to the idea even among friends. It's something to consider, my dear.
We found a new mage, everyone. You've been promoted. Yes, so he's greatly approving of everything. Yeah.
The Inquisition appreciates your assistance in this matter, Lady Corbin. And my miners appreciate your business. You'll have your lyrium by the end of the week. I should tell you, Ambassador, the Chantry raised some fuss when they learned about our arrangement. The Inquisition must certainly seem an audacious idea to the Grand Clerics. We hope to convince them it is a necessary one as well.
Okay, if I talk to you, will this start a cutscene? Yes.
I'll take my leave. Good day.
Oh, did I scare someone off?
Who was she, Ambassador?
A merchant. I thought we should reach out to the dwarves to secure lyrium for the Inquisition's mages. According to Lady Corbin, it raised the ire of the Chantry.
Of course it has.
How?
Access to lyrium makes us rather more formidable than anticipated. We're becoming a challenge. Sadly, the remaining Grand Clerics appear to be consolidating the Chantry's power instead of comforting the masses.
It's been this way for years. The Chantry's incompetent. No, I don't think you'd say either of those. It's needed now more than ever.
The Chantry should be a place of hope, not another group scrambling for answers.
That must be its strength again. The Chants did much to bridge nations. Little but the Chantry ties Orlais, Nivara, Ferelden, Antiva, and even Rivain to a common cause.
Has the Chantry truly promoted such peace?
Andraste's chant is familiar across kingdoms, a source of many shared customs. That is the crucial point. Common ground is the start of all negotiations.
And the start of many fights. What's the phrase? The US and the UK are two nations divided by a common language. I can see the importance. You make it sound easy. I can see the importance.
I suppose a shared faith can be useful when talking with strangers.
Precisely. And these similar interests are merely where we begin. We must learn to think beyond our own wants to secure peace in Thedas.
That's not our job. That's tall order. That's an ambitious notion.
Planning to steer the history of the world, Ambassador Montillier?
I believe the Inquisition is already charting that course. Which brings me to a question, if you have a moment. The remaining Grand Clerics sent a missive inquiring about the events at the Temple of Sacred Ashes. They demand to know whether the Inquisition officially claims that Andraste saved you from the breach. If it were up to you...
How will you?
Will my answer change your reply to the Chantry?
If Leliana, Cassandra Cullen, and I could agree on our official stance, I could answer that. We should decide soon. The revered mothers don't seem to know what to make of you.
I don't claim to be holy. That's private. I don't know. Answer that Andraste chose me. Well, who was the one in the vision that we saw at the beginning of the game? How would you answer this, Alec? 1 or 3. I don't think he'd reject it completely out of hand. And I think that's a stupid answer in his position. As someone who's a nobleman and has now been thrust into this, saying, that's private, is nonsense. But which would you say? Would you hem and haw about it, or say it with certainty? We have said before to someone, I think it was in Val Royal, I think he's confident in this faith.
I tell the Chantry that Andraste herself shielded me from harm.
I'd truly like to hear if the debates that would raise Bioware. Thank you for your thoughts. A good day to you.